Well, hello and welcome to another Digimon TCG deck profile. So I went to locals again with my favorite deck from the new set, Necromon, and I had a really great time and I liked how the deck performed, so I'm gonna show you what list I played, and then as usual I'm gonna talk about how the tournament went. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off with the DigiEggs, I played 4 copies of the BT20 Demi-Meramon. And it really is the signature Digi-Egg of this deck. It has an inherited on deletion effect to bring one of your ghost Digimon from the trash back to your hand, giving you some much needed recursion since some of your Digimon delete themselves, and like this you can just keep bringing them back. And I also played 1 copy of the EX4 Pinamon, since it synergizes pretty well with the deck's game plan, that being attacking with your Digimon at the end of your turn, which then delete themselves with their own effect. And when they do, Pinamon just gives you 1 extra memory to work with. Coupled with some other inherited effects that give you a memory when your Digimon is deleted, makes it easier to get memory back at your side to continue your turn. So I think this is another great addition to the deck. For the level 3s I play 4 copies of the BT20 Ghostmon, 4 copies of the BT14 Gazimon, 2 copies of the BT20 Candlemon, and 2 copies of the BT8 Psychmon. Ghostmon is pretty self-explanatory since it's the signature rookie of the deck. It's also its main searcher, with its own play effect to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you may add a card with a Ghost and Liberator trait among them to your hand, so most of the time you'll be adding 2 cards with this effect. And of course, its inherited effect is on deletion to gain 1 memory. And Gazimon is here because it has the same inherited effect as Ghostmon. You can also swap Gazimon with Tsukaimon from, BT3 I believe, since it's basically the same card. It has the same cost, DP, even the same traits, and of course the inherited effect, just the name is different. And Candlemon is here because it's a level 3 with Retaliation, which is pretty funny, and it's also always treated as a ghost type, so it synergizes pretty well with the deck. Also it has the inherited effect that on deletion you can trash 1 card in your hand to delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon, which doesn't come up that often since there are other deletion effects that are better in this deck. And I put in 2 Psychmon as a meta clone, since at our locals we have a pretty good Crossheart player, and there are also some Royal Knight enthusiasts, so I put it in case I played against one of them, which spoilers didn't happen, but hey, at least it served as discard fodder. So yeah, that's it for the level 3s. For the level 4s I play 4 copies of the BT20 Bakemon, 3 copies of the BT15 Bakemon, and 1 BT20 Soulmon. The BT20 Bakemon has the when Digivolving effect that allows you to play Violent inputs from your hand if you have 1 or less Tamers. And since Violet is a pretty important piece in the deck, that effect is very welcome. And it also has the inherited effect of on deletion to gain a memory. So yeah, it's pretty easy to gain back a lot of memory in this deck. The BT15 Bakemon has the when Digivolving and on deletion effect to draw 1 and then trash 1 card in your hand, which is very helpful since it allows you to dig deeper into your deck to find some pieces that you might be missing. And it also has the inherited Retaliation effect. So if you need to swing into a bigger Digimon to get rid of it, this is a nice way to do it. And Soulmon has the on play and when Digivolving effect to give one of your Digimon Retaliation until the end of your opponent's turn, which is both a form of removal and a form of protection. Since again you can swing into your opponent's bigger Digimon if it poses a problem, and if you have a suspended Digimon or a blocker and your opponent tries to swing at you, they might think twice before doing it. And it also has the same inherited effect as Candlemon, but it's not that versatile to warrant running more than 1 copy, and since it is easily searchable you don't really have to. So that's it for the level 4s. Moving on to level 5s, I play 4 Phantomons from BT20, 2 Meton Phantomon also from BT20, and 2 BT8 Chimeramon. 4 Phantomon because it's the second most important Digimon in the deck, and the first one shown in this video with the new execute keyword, which allows you to at the end of your turn attack with this Digimon but delete it at the end of battle, and you can also attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon with it. A pretty aggressive effect which I like very much. And if you're worried about the Digimon being deleted at the end of battle, don't worry because it has the on deletion effect, which allows you to play one of your level 4 or lower Digimon with the Ghost trait from your trash without paying the cost, which is also its inherited effect. So even if it is deleted, you get a Digimon back and you can do it again the next turn. And Metal Phantomon can evolve from Phantomon for a cost of 1. It's a blocker and it has an on-play and when digivolving effect that allows you to delete one of your Digimon to delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. Which comes in pretty handy if you're worried about your opponent having an ace or something. So you can just delete the source they would evolve it onto. And it being a blocker is also very helpful. And its inherited effect is that on deletion you can de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Which is a good way to set your opponent back a bit, but it doesn't come up that often, since you'll most likely be deleting their Digimon anyway. Still a good effect to have. And finally 2 Chimeramon, because it's easy to get 2 level 4s on the field, played with your Digimon's effects, meaning they can't attack for the turn, but that's where Chimeramon gets in. You can just use the 2 level 4s to DNA Digivolve into it, and then you have another attacker. Or you can Digivolve it into the deck's boss monster, which comes up next. And as the only level 6 in the deck, I play 4 copies of Necromon. A level 6 Digimon which evolves for 4 costs over a level 5 Digimon, which means you'll probably pass the turn when you evolve into it, but it's a good thing it has the execute keyword, same as Phantomon. And it also has security attack plus 1, so if your opponent has nothing big in security, it does double the damage. And it has the on play and when digivolving effect to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. So if they have only one big Digimon, it's pretty devastating when you evolve into it. And it also has the on play and on deletion effect to play one of your level 5 or lower Digimon with the ghost trait from your trash without paying the cost. So if you evolved it over Phantomon, at the end of the attack you get 2 Digimon back, and if you have Demi-Meramon as its evolution source, you can also add it back from your trash to your hand to do it all over again the next turn. Or even this turn, which isn't that difficult, since you'll usually be getting a lot of memory back when it is deleted, allowing you to continue your turn. And if you also have Chimeramon, you can easily swing for 4 checks in a single turn. Even more if you have 2 Chimeramon, which doesn't come up that often, at least it didn't to me, but it is possible. So yeah, great card. And it also has one of my favorite designs in the game, it just looks so sick. And I also play a level 7 Digimon, which is the EX4 Shine Greymon Ruin mode. I mainly put it in the deck to have a counter against the red-purple Imperial Dramon, but funny enough it actually came in clutch against the other, the green-blue Imperial Dramon. And it's also a pretty good card on its own, so might as well play it if I have the capacity, which I do. Right, that's it for the Digimon, and for the Tamers I play 2 of the BT18 Violet inputs, 2 BT20 Violet inputs, and the best purple Tamer in the game, 4 copies of Analog Youth. And yeah, I know it's white, but come on, it's purple basically. I mean, it fills out your trash, it searches you a card, and it's like it's tailor-made for this deck, since it also allows you to gain back a memory when one of your level 5 or higher Digimon with evolution sources is deleted. I mean, that's perfect synergy right there. As for the Violets, I play 2 BT18 ones because it's a memory setter, and I love having me 3 memory at the start of my turn. And she also has the effect that at the start of your main phase, you can trash an option card, or a Digimon with the Ghost or 3 Musketeer trait in your hand to draw a card, which also helps you setting up your trash with Digimon you may want to play later, and it digs deeper into your deck, which is always great. As for the BT20 Violet, she gives you a memory at the start of your main phase if your opponent controls a Digimon, and during your turn when one of your Ghost trait Digimon is deleted. By suspending this Tamer, one of your Digimon may evolve into a Ghost trait Digimon from your hand, with the cost reduced by 2, which also allows you to keep the momentum going without spending too much memory. So they are both pretty good, but I'd still have to say that Analog Youth is the main Tamer of the deck. And since it also allows you to hatch a Digi-Egg when your level 5 or higher Digimon with evolution sources is deleted, it keeps the pace of the game real fast. So yeah, that's my Tamer lineup. For the options I played 3 Wisdom Training, 2 Purple Memory Boost, 2 Vortex Resonance, 1 Apparition Legion, and 1 Calling from the Darkness. Wisdom Training and Purple Memory Boost are pretty standard in the deck, since again they allow you to dig deeper into the deck to find missing pieces, and they can also allow you to evolve for a cheaper cost or give you back memory. But I don't see many people playing Vortex Resonance, and I love this card in the deck. First of all, it has the Liberator trait, so it's searchable, and it allows you to ignore common requirements if you have a Digimon or Tamer with the Liberator trait, which is pretty much all of your deck. Well, most of it, not all of it. Anyway, its main effect is to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add one card with the Liberator trait among them to the hand, meaning it can even search itself, and then one of your Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon in your hand with the cost reduced by 4. So this makes Necromon evolve for 3 memory instead of 4, and sometimes that 1 memory is pretty crucial. Also, I can't even count the number of times I was missing Necromon in my hand, but I had Vortex Resonance, so I played it, and from the 3 top cards of my deck there was a Necromon there, so I just added it to the hand and then evolved straight into it with the effect. So yeah, that's pretty cool to pull off. And it also has a nice security effect, which allows you to play a card with a Liberator trait and a cost of 4 or less from your hand or trash without paying the cost, and then add this card to your hand. So yeah, this is pretty much a scramble card on crack. It's just missing a delay effect, but then it would be too busted. Seriously, great card, I love playing it. And then there's one Apparition Legion, which also has the Liberator trait, so it's also searchable, and that's why I'm not running any more than one. And it's here to help you finish up the game. And if you're wondering how, its main effect is that you may return up to 9 levels total worth of Digimon card from your opponent's trash to the bottom of the deck, and you may play one Ghost Ray Digimon card that have the same level as the cards you return to the bottom of the deck, and then those Digimon gain Rush and Blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. So if you bring back a Digimon that has Execute, you can just attack straight away with it. But the caveat is that you must return Digimon whose levels add up to 9 from your opponent's trash to the bottom of the deck, so you have to be careful about that. But yeah, you basically play this when your opponent has no security left, and then you just play some Digimon from your trash that have Execute and swing for game. And its security effect is to play one Ghost Ray Digimon that is level 5 or lower from your trash. And naturally, Calling from the Darkness is here to, if you need, proc some of your own deletion effects, and bring back 2 Digimon from your trash to your hand if you need them. And more recycling is always good. And that would be it for the deck. And now, as usual, I do a brief recap of how the deck performed at my locals, and this time I even have some footage. So if you're interested in that, stick around. If not, I hope you enjoyed the deck profile, and I'll see you next time. So here we are in the first of the 4 matches I played, and it's against Red Hybrid. And this one is built around going into Emperor Greymon. And I managed to lose this match spectacularly. It was a quick 2-0. First game he whittled my security with his rookies, and by evolving his tamers into hybrids to attack with, and finished the game by evolving Takuya into the old Emperor Greymon. I did have a blocker for it, but when it gets blocked, it just unsuspends and gains back a bunch of memory, and then can go again for the finishing attack. This footage is from the second game, where I put up a bit of a better fight. In this game I managed to chip down my opponent's security to 1, by attacking with Necromon, checking 2 security and with some other lower level Digimon, and I still had 4 security and 2 Digimon left, from which if one was deleted could bring back another one. So I was feeling pretty confident, even if my opponent had a Gunimon in the raising area and a couple of tamers. I also managed to give him only 1 memory, but he gained another one because of Takuya, but that's only worth 1 evolution, so I wasn't really worried. He attacks me with a Gunimon, which checks Chimeramon so it gets deleted. He then plays Gravity Crush gaining 2 memory, and evolves Takuya into Emperor Greymon by placing 5 hybrid cards from the trash under him, and he swings checking 3 security cards, which absolutely clears me out. And since he was at 1 memory, I thought he couldn't probably do any more, which is when he played another Gravity Crush. And he then proceeds to evolve his other Takuya into a hybrid and swings for game. I guess you could say I didn't stand a ghost of a chance. So we're off to not a great start, but don't worry, it gets better. The second match was against one of my favorite decks and a frequent visitor to the channel, Sakuyamon, which I managed to win 2-0. The first game my opponent's searches didn't really go so well for him. He also couldn't get rid of my smaller level 3s which I hard played, so the next turn I just whittled down his security, went into Necromon, got him to 0 security with Execute, gained back some memory which still made it my turn, played 2 level 4s and went for Chimeramon for game. The second game, which we are watching now, my opponent managed to get to one of his major payoffs pretty early on, that being Shine Greymon Ruin mode, but ultimately he couldn't get to it in time. And I again attacked his security with my lower level Digimon, and I also managed to capture this moment on camera. I played Ghostmon, so I could search on level 5 I believe I was missing, and I revealed not 1, not 2, but 3 Necromon. So yeah, that happened. I could add 2 of them to my hand, but I was still missing on level 5. And fortunately I managed to get to 1 later. And this turn my opponent manages to make a big play, going from Renamon all the way up to Sakuramon X Antibody, playing a couple of tokens as well. He swings at my security with Sakuramon X, and with its effect plays a Scramble, allowing him to evolve into Shine Greymon Ruin mode, which gets deleted at the end of the attack, recovers him a security, and gives all my Digimon minus 10,000 DP for the next turn. Fortunately for me, I had no Digimon on my field or in the raising area, so it wasn't as impactful of a play as it could have been. So I just built a stack in my raising area and was preparing for my next turn. Next turn my opponent evolves into the new Cubimon and the BT-17 Talmon, both of which couldn't use their effect because he didn't have the cards for them. Which was a bummer for him, but good news for me. Next turn I moved my Phantomon to the battle area. I tried digging for something by playing Analog Youth. Then I used Wisdom Training to evolve into Necromon for 2 memory. He deleted Talmon and I went for security with his Execute, which got blocked. I gained back some memory, still making it my turn. Played a Ghostmon from trash to try digging some more. And also a Phantomon. I also evolved Ghostmon into Bakemon with Violet's effect. And set up a Digimon in my raising area. Next I used my memory boost to gain back 2 memory. And played Vortex Resonance to evolve my Phantomon into Necromon for 3 memory, still making it my turn. And I finished my turn by evolving into my own Shine Greymon Ruin mode, giving 5 memory to my opponent. He finally found a Rika, which he played and got some good searches. And he finished by evolving into Starmon, passing it over to me. Of course, first I swing for security with Shine Greymon Ruin mode. And at the end of the attack, both it and my opponent's token are deleted. And it's when Digivolving effect is also activated, which means my opponent can't move his Digimon from the raising area the next turn. Of course I gain back some memory and hatch a Digiac because of my Analog Youths, and I attack my opponent's security some more. Luckily my Bakemon survives. And next I do a play which I was really proud of. I use Calling from the Darkness to delete my Phantomon, because it was played this turn and it couldn't attack anyway. And I get back 2 Digimon from my trash, and play a Bakemon from my trash with no cost. Next I DNA Digivolve the 2 Bakemon into Chimeramon, and put a Phantomon under it. And since I had 4 memory left, I evolve into Necromon and attack without using Execute. It checks a Scramble, which plays a Renamon from the trash, and I guess we forgot he was under the effect of Shine Greymon Ruin mode, because it didn't get deleted so he searches with it. And it also checks a Rika, which also gets some searches. And then I again evolve my Necromon into Shine Greymon Ruin mode, which should put my opponent under a minus 10k DP blanket, but like I said we forgot about the first one. Anyway, next turn my opponent plays a Talmon Ace, and by resolving a bunch of option cards, he reduces my Shine Greymon's DP to 0 and goes into his own Shine Greymon again. So I couldn't move my Ghostmon to the battle area, but I had Apparition Legion, which returned a level 5 and a level 4 to my opponent's bottom deck, and I played Phantomon and Bakemon, and with Execute I attacked with Phantomon for game. The third match was against Purple Hybrid, which was a close one, but I managed to win 2-1. I managed to win the first game. The second game I lost because my opponent just managed to control the field better, and he had some options that managed to delete my important Digimon. And since we were both playing Violet inputs, the BT-18 one, the running joke throughout the match was whoever gets to it first wins the game. And while he did manage to play his first, I was the first one that actually managed to search it. And then I played her on the following turn, and from there on it really was just smooth sailing. My opponent also hit a couple of nasty security checks, deleting his Digimon when he didn't really want it to happen, while the opposite happened to me, so I managed to build some board presence, and little by little I whittled down his security. I also managed to do the Chimeramon combo, unfortunately no Necromon this time, but I still swung with it and it survived the check. The next turn my opponent swung with Welgermon into my security, hitting a Shine Greymon which deleted it, which according to my opponent won me the game because he couldn't do anything much after it. He did play a Bell Starmon, deleting one of my Digimon, but it wasn't enough. And from there, since he only had 1 security and I had 2 Digimon, I was just a hop, skip and a jump away from winning the game. And the final match was against Blue-Green Imperial Dramon, which is not really a good matchup for me. Since all of their removal doesn't delete anything, it sends my stuff to the bottom of my deck. So I was ready for a quick 2-0 loss. But surprisingly I managed to win 2-0. Not a quick 2-0, but still a 2-0 nonetheless. Well, the first game was quick. My opponent bricked even after a mulligan. He didn't have any rookies for his first 2 turns, so he just had to hard play level 4s and evolve into the level 5s the normal way, not by DNA digivolving. So yeah, not a great time for him. I on the other hand drew pretty well, so I just followed the game plan and got a W. But this second game was a lot more exciting, much more back and forth. This time my opponent did draw a rookie, evolved it up to level 4 and passed the turn to me. Unfortunately I didn't have a rookie, so I played a purple memory boost and found one among the cards revealed, but unfortunately I had to pass turn. But because I only gave 1 memory to my opponent, he also played a memory boost and passed it over to me. I also kept my Digimon in the raising area, evolved up to level 4 and played Wisdom Training, which got me a Metal Phantomon. And in these early stages my opponent is still trying to set up, so he just plays Arcane and Davis and passes the turn to me. And I decide to go on the offensive. I move my Digimon to the battle area, use Wisdom Training to evolve it into Phantomon for 1 memory, and here's why I love playing Vortex Resonance. Since I have a Digimon with Liberator trait, I play it without meeting the color requirements, and the third card it reveals is just the one I need, a Necromon, so I evolve Phantomon into it. And with Execute I go for security, and only check 1 card because it was Imperial Dramon Fighter mode with 13,000 DP. I still get my own deletion effects, putting me back to 0 memory. With Phantomon's inherited effect I play a Ghostmon, which gets me 2 cards. Next I play Phantomon with Necromon's effect, and I add Necromon to my hand with Demi-Meramon's effect. And finally for 1 memory I evolve Phantomon into Metal Phantomon. At the start of his turn my opponent plays a Wormmon with Davis and Ken, which gets him another Davis and Ken. He moves X-Vmon to the battle area, cracks the memory boost, and proceeds to do Imperial Dramon DNA Digivolving stuff. Going into Pale Dramon, which returns Ghostmon to the bottom of my deck, he swings at my security, draws some cards, unsuspends, and I choose not to block. He goes for another security, I still don't block, and he evolves into Imperial Dramon Dragon mode, which suspends my Digimon and makes it unable to unsuspend, and it unsuspends itself. I crack my own memory boost, and evolve Metal Phantomon into Necromon to delete his Imperial Dramon, and finally I evolve it into Shine Greymon Ruin mode, making my opponent unable to play any rookies with his tamer effects. So he starts building a stack in his raising area and plays a memory boost, adding him another rookie, which is gonna be useless for now. And next turn, first and foremost, I attack with Shine Greymon Ruin mode to be able to use its effect again and also recover a security. Then I evolve my Gazimon into Bakemon to draw 1 and discard 1 and giving my opponent 1 memory. And he returns the favor by cracking his memory boost and playing a Davis and Ken, giving me 1 memory as well. I start building another stack in my raising area and evolve Bakemon into Phantomon, and with Execute I go for security. At the end of the battle I play a Candlemon. I add the BT20 Bakemon from my trash to my hand with Demi-Meramon, and with Violet's effect I evolve into it, which plays me another Violet. So now I have 3 memory at the start of my turn guaranteed, 4 if my opponent has a Digimon, which he will. He moves X-Vmon to the battle area, with both of his Davis and Ken he plays Wormmons, which searches him pretty much anything he wants, and from there he does the usual DNA Digivolving stuff. And he strips my sources, suspends my Digimon making it unable to unsuspend. He also uses Offense plugin giving Pale Dramon security attack +1, and he attacks my Digimon with Piercing, checking Vortex Resonance, which allows him to play Bakemon back from the trash. And since Pale Dramon unsuspended, he goes for another swing, emptying my security, but checking Apparition Legion, which plays a Metal Phantomon from my trash. Finally he evolves into Imperial Dramon Fighter mode, getting rid of my Metal Phantomon but giving me 5 memory. And on my turn I evolve along the way up to Necromon, for 1 less cost thanks to Vortex Resonance, which was crucial because I was able to continue my turn after using Necromon's Execute, which again only checked 1 card because it was Imperial Dramon Dragon mode with 12,000 DP. But anyway, I played 2 level 4s from my trash, evolved Ghostmon into another level 4 with Violet's effect, attacked his security with it, which it actually survived. Finally I went into Chimeramon, and just for style points I evolved it into Necromon, and that was GG. And there you have it, that's how I managed to get 3-1 on my locals with Necromon, which earned me the solid 5th place among some 17 players. Not bad if I do say so myself. And yeah, I really had a blast playing the deck. And I would also like to thank my opponents and my local card shop for being willing to participate in this filming session. Truly all wonderful people, and I hope I get to play against them again. And I assure you there was no bribery or anything involved into making me win on camera. It was on pure skill. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you next time. Bye!